Alright, here we go. This is going to be the fifth and final match. This is the deciding match. Winner takes all here in IBM versus Quora, the AHGL B team in week 4. The series is currently tied 2-2, and this is a best of 5. So this is an ace match here. Both teams got to pick a player. It was picked in secret, so you just kind of pick who you want to send out, and then the other team does the same, and you confide in the third party who makes the announcement simultaneously, so that way you can't, pick somebody to go against who your opponent picks first. You can't do anything responsive. We were expecting that they would send out NHK, their Masters level Terran, who won the first game, but instead they have not. So we sent out Akira here. He's pretty solid in his PvT, so he was expecting to play a Terran here. So in the lower right we have Akira, the blue Protoss for IBM. And his opponent, somewhat unexpected here, in the lower left is the red Zerg CSKO. So CSKO also won his game in ZVZ. He beat Swisha on Akalon Wastes not too long ago here. So we'll see how this goes. ZVP, Dave just absolutely hates this matchup. Him and I have played a few times. He's actually pretty good at it. I don't know why he hates it so much. I think me and Dave are probably 50-50 in the 10 or so games that we've played. A couple of the internal leagues, I think we went like 3-4 one time and then 4-3 the next time. I guess that's more than 10 games. We played quite a few games. So Dave's opening Forge first here. That was a Forge on 13. That is a very safe build. Any sort of early pool shenanigans, you'll be safe against that. So it looks like it was a 15 pool that came down for the Zerg player there. So there were early pool shenanigans. One thing that I've been doing a lot in my Zerg vs Protoss is I still like the 12 pool opening, get those 4 lings out. And especially for the Protoss players that go Nexus first, you can almost always get those 4 lings in there and do a lot of damage. Drone is coming down, so it looks like it's going to be a 15 pool into a 16 hatch. Very safe opening from the Zerg player. Pretty standard, so I don't know if Dave saw that drone going down there, but he sees the pool, so he'll probably go check, and the hatch is already going to be down, so no hatch block or anything. When you see the pool and you see how close it is to being done, that means cannon rush is usually not going to be so good. Things will be out quickly here. Another drone is coming around just to scout to see if there is any sort of cannon rush going on, so it'll find that probe and just kind of shoo them away. Looks like Dave actually went cannon before Nexus, so Dave is playing super paranoid right now. Typically you can do like Forge, Nexus, Gateway, Cannon, but he actually went 13 Forge into a Cannon, so I think maybe he was going to try and cannon rush. I don't know what he was thinking there. The other thing is this positioning of a cannon, I don't know about that. I mean, I feel like it's, I don't know, Roaches might be able to pick buildings off over there, and against the Baneling bust, you can hit the cannon directly, so see how that goes. The Zerg does see this whole wall. This is one nice thing about being Zerg, is you get this early Overlord in, especially on this map with the close by air and only the 2 spawn positions. You can see exactly what that wall looks like. Third hatch is coming down for the Zerg player. Looks like it was probably on about 21 supply or so, about 4 minutes and 15 seconds. 4 minutes, maybe closer to 4 minutes. This is pretty much a standard metagame still in Zerg versus Protoss. Even in Heart of the Swarm, you can get that very early 3 hatch. One interesting choice is always where they build the queen, so it looks like you built 1 queen in the main, walked it down to the second, did a single inject, and is now walking it down to the third. You get that queen down to the third earlier, it makes it a little bit safer. Sometimes your Protoss players will try and chrono boost out a couple of Zealots and send them directly to the third to deny it. So getting that queen down there helps with that. So at this point, the ball is kind of in Dave's court. Basically, he has to choose what tech path he wants to go, and then the Zerg has to respond appropriately. So still a little bit early here. Dave probably won't make that choice for at least another minute and a half here. The drone and the probe are cuddling at the watchtower there. Neither of them has the watchtower. But he's at the watchtower. That's funny. First Zealot is out. We got the 1 hex hole in the wall there, plugged by the Zealot. Dave has made his decision here at the 6:14 mark. Actually, interestingly enough, he still hasn't taken these 2 gas at his natural. He needs to do that pretty quick. Yeah, there they go. So it is going to be double Stargate here. Few things that he can do out of that. The Oracle openings are really powerful. Oracle is perhaps weakest against Zerg just because there's a queen there, and 1v1, the queens can take out the oracles. Generally, the Zergs keep the queens on the opposite side of the hatchery from the worker line. You can see this actually in all three of his bases here. He's got them on the opposite side, and the reason for this is because if you're, depending on what your inject technique is, which it looks like actually he's got the 3, 4, and 5 hotkey to the queens, but if you're just using the camera and box technique, it makes it much easier to select the queens when they're on the opposite side. So the reason I say that is because if you get an oracle around the back, the oracle can actually rack up 4 or 5 worker kills before you move the queen over to shoo it away. So already responding with spore crawlers here. Let's see, he did not scout the double Stargate, but I mean this is actually pretty normal. I'm doing this myself now in all my ladder games. Oracles are so powerful that you pretty much always build a single spore in all your mineral lines right around the 7.5 minute mark. Just because, yeah, it's like cheap Oracle insurance at that point. So we can see that Dave has decided not to go for Oracles. He is going to be doing double Void Raid pushes, and he's chrono boosting them out 2 at a time here. So he's got 2 out already, 2 more on the way, and he's building his mothership core. Cisco is coming in here with the Overseer, and he still hasn't seen the Stargate. Oh, very nice, actually. Dave reacting quickly, killing off that Overseer. The Changeling, and the Overseer is now going the wrong way. So he still has not spotted these Void Rays. He doesn't see anything. In fact, he's got to know he's up against something, but he can't find any tech anywhere. You can see there's no third down. He's got a Ling in both of the thirds. But that whole flyover, he didn't see anything. So Dave has to assume that the Stargate was spotted at this point, just because it's really hard to know where the vision lines are from that Overseer and where the other overlords are. So Dave probably thinks that this has been scouted, which is why he's going to go ahead and push out with the 4. He's following up with a Robo here. He'll probably start adding on gateways as well. And this is interesting. Cisco with a complete misread here. He must think there's gateways somewhere and that a gateway push is coming because he's responding with a bunch of spine crawlers at the front. So Dave could actually, yeah, and spine crawlers at the back, Dave could actually do a lot of damage here. These 4 Void Rays will be able to focus down this spore and this queen. There's only the 3 queens on the map. And I think that's it. The rest is roaches. So let's see, Dave should focus down the spore. Yeah, Lings and roaches are coming out here. Dave's starting to add on gateways now, but he's only got 2. He needs to be a little worried about a counterattack. This is going to be so effective. One Infestor's coming in, has a single fungal, but it's just not enough. Dave needs to focus down this queen so he doesn't lose these Void Rays. Get the queen and then just, yeah, focus down the spore. No, not the lair. Get the spore. Okay, very nice. Microing them back. Oh, he is just going to try and focus down this lair. This might actually work. Cisco's responding with drones here. I mean, I think Cisco should counter at this point. Double Hydra 10 coming down. That must be a mistake. The layer does fall, so this is actually really good for Dave here. How many workers has he killed? He's killed 13 drones so far. Cisco's going to respond by taking the spore. He's got a lot of spores coming down in his remaining bases. A lot of spores. Wow, actually maybe a little bit of overkill there. And Dave's just going to fly away. There is a single swarm host out in front of the base, but unfortunately he forgot to rally, so we can see that the locusts are just popping and dying. So, very nice play by Dave. Gets in there, snipes off the infestation pit, snipes off the lair. Do we have... I don't think we have another layer started yet. Okay, he just noticed that he had lost his infestation pit probably, so he's starting another layer. So the only thing he has down is this Hydra Den. Did he get his 2-2 started? He doesn't even have 1-1 started. So no upgrades from the Zerg player. Interesting. Still forgetting to rally this Swarm Host. Yeah, he's just probably all kinds of flustered right now. So behind this, let's see, Dave is finally adding on some very late gateways, going up to double Robo here. Looks like he's going to be teching to Colossus. Dave needs to start spending this money. Quite a bit of bank here. He's got 1 Oracle that he popped here that's building up energy, but, I mean, there's so many spores down right now. I don't know what he plans to do with that. The Zerg has a slight supply lead, but I wouldn't read too much into that. Pretty much the whole army supply for the Zerg is roaches. These roaches are the least cost-effective 2 supply unit in the game, so the fact that he's up by a couple of supply there with a Roach Hydra Link army. It's just not particularly good. Once these Colossus start popping out, this army will melt unless there's Corruptors or Vipers on the field now. He did just start a Spire, so let's see, what has the Zerg player seen here? He's not seen anything since that initial scouting flyover. That's still all that he's seen. Looks like maybe he wants to get aggressive here. He's poking them with a couple of scouting wings. He sees that Dave's trying to take this third, and I think he knows he needs to deny this. If these Colossus pop, though, see, Thermal Lance has finished. Yeah, Thermal Lance is finished. As soon as these two Colossus get here, yeah, Varian says windows closing for Zerg. Yeah, this is down to the second. Dave needs to get these Colossus into the fight here. Once these Colossus come over, yeah, he's bringing the Colossus over. Ooh, Colossus is just out of position. You really should wait. Yeah, okay, now Dave can engage. He didn't get the cancel on those cannons. It's a little bit unfortunate, but yeah, with that warp in, if he gets the second Colossus in the fight here, I hope he knows that that's down there. He should pretty easily clean this up. Yeah, the Zerg just barely missed a really good timing window there. I don't know what the point of that second fungal was. It's only going to hurt the shields. He lost that infestor. You really should have tried to save that infestor. So the Zerg has excellent map control here. Dave has got this Oracle here waiting to go in, but the Zerg can see pretty much every single base. He's got really good Overlord spread. He knows what's going on, but Dave is just getting stronger and stronger here. We can see the worker count is 74 to 62. As a Zerg, you never want to be down in workers. Supply count is favoring the Protoss. As a Zerg, you never want to be down in supply. He finally got his main reestablished, but he's still not mining from it. Finally got his lair up, and he did get a Spire up, so he's starting to build Corruptors now. One on the field, one more on the way to try and deal with this Colossus tech. But there's only two Colossus out of, four Colossus out on the field now. Okay, except I guess two of them must be. Oh, there they are. Okay, so all four of them have joined the fight here. So Dave's got 4 Colossus and 5 Void Rays in here. That's going to be the majority of his DPS, and then a few Stalkers mixed in with that as well. He does have this Oracle here, which is almost full energy now and hasn't been used at all. Maybe it could get some work done somewhere, but there's so many spores all over the map. I just don't know what he can do. Zerg is playing this off about as well as he can here. He's expanding like crazy. He's going up to 5 bases. Just getting his main reestablished. He does need to work on getting the hive tech. Okay, there you go. So he's taking his hive at his third. That's not something you see very often. Big fight in the middle here now, but Roach Hydra with only 2 Corruptors. Oh, Dave does recall out of there. I think Dave might have been able to take that fight. Maybe he recalled back to, he recalled all the way back to his main, which might have been a mistake. He probably should have recalled back to his third. Yeah, they're saying recall to the wrong one. These Colossus are just going to be so powerful against this Roach Hydra army. There's only one Corruptor in the mix now. Yeah, I don't think the Zerg can attack into that. But Dave does need to make something happen here. The hive tech is popping, so we're probably going to see a Greater Spire started here. Or maybe an Ultra-This Cavern would be reasonable. I think Greater Spire is probably the better choice in this situation. And once those high-tech units start coming out, that's when Zerg gets really powerful. Yeah, see, even Varian sees it now that this is kind of Dave's window to attack here. He needs to make something happen. He needs to clean up this army. I don't know, does Dave know about all these bases? No, Dave has no idea that the Zerg is working on getting up to 5 bases right now. But this is a fairly big Roach Hydra ball here. Dave is not really reinforcing. He has 2,000 minerals. Yeah, he's adding on 5 gateways here. He knows he just 6 gateways. Because he can't spend everything he has. So yeah, I think Dave needs to maybe wait for these gates, max out, and then just push instantly, because here's his problem, is this Greater Spire has started. 6 more infestors are coming out. No Corruptors to speak of on the map. Actually, the Zerg maxed out without Corruptors. So that's a bit of a mistake. The Zerg is this is kind of the balancing game for the Zerg now, because he's got access to his tier 3 tech, but he doesn't have the supply to use it. So he needs to carefully trade out groups of roaches doing like counters and that sort of thing. And get up to those broodlords. Dave is getting his mothership here. And Dave's going to poke forward here. He still doesn't know. Oh, I guess maybe he's just trying to clear that tower, or trying to set up a run-by, but that's just not going to work. The whole Zerg army's waiting here for him. So those zealots will get chewed up pretty quick. During locusts is getting researched, so we could see a swarm host transition. I don't think that would be very effective against this many voidgreys. We'll see here, David is posturing to take a fourth. The Zerg player sees that, and that might prompt some action from him. Actually, yeah, I was going to say, if that pulls his whole army out of position, I'm not sure. Looks like maybe, yeah, he's sending a roach counter up there, and then that mothership finishes up just in time, so there are no overseers in this army. Roach run by, this is actually really nice, because it's going to force the cancel on this fourth base, but this is also what he needs to do to trade out that roach supply so he can start remaxing on broodlords. The problem is, he doesn't have time. He's only got 4 spine crawlers here. This is not the spine crawler forest you need to stall this sort of thing. Dave does get himself into a bit of an awkward position here. If the Zerg was going to, is he going for the pincher or the counter? He's going for the counter. So the hive falls instantaneously. Yeah, I think the Zerg knows he can't win a straight up fight here, so he's just going to go for the base trade. I'd like to see Dave kill off this main base and fall back. Yeah, he should really get the Greater Spire, the Infestation Pit, and the Hydra Den, and then fall back. Well, he gets the Hydra Den. This is beautiful. He's leaving a couple of Zealots to finish this off. Bring those Colossus. Okay, this is perfectly played by Dave. Yeah. Leave these Zealots to finish off the tech structures and then go back and try and kill the army. If Dave kills this army successfully, yeah, the Protoss is in a really good position here. Greater Spire is going to fall, so there'll be no more Broodlords for a long, long time because the layer's just starting. So, I mean, it's like 5-6 minutes. Very nice fungal, slowing down that whole Protoss army. Greater Spire has fallen. Spire itself is going to fall here. The Zerg army is in full retreat. Looks like maybe he's going to try and run out the back here. Slow Protoss army is trying to catch up. Few Zerg units are left. We've got some of the natural. One Ling in the third there. Corruptors just kind of flying around aimlessly. The ones in the natural get cleaned up. Both of the Spires have fallen. Infestation Pit is going to go down. He does start 3 more Infestors right at the last second there. And I think he's still got quite a few in his composition. He's got 7 on the field right now, so he'll be okay as long as he doesn't lose those. But his problem is his lack of tech now. He's got to rebuild a layer, and then just everything from there. So for several minutes, he's going to have only roaches and lings at his disposal, which against this sort of Protoss army, it's real hard to win with roaches and lings. Let's check the upgrades here. 2-1 for Dave against 0-0 for the Zerg. That is costly. The Zerg just cannot fight this Protoss army. They're both maxed out, but the Protoss has much better units, tier 3 units, much better composition, much better upgrades. Yeah, he's going to go for the counter again, but, I mean, this small of a force, Dave can just warp in to hold that. Dave, well, he has no supply to warp in. Yeah, this is really his only chance. Go for this counter again, but I think Dave can just do this back and forth game here. Kill this army, kill this base, and then can he recall? Actually, Dave could recall back to the natural. Oh, but now he's starting to free up supply to do the warp in here. Very nice. So, I mean, the Zerg is playing this off as best he can here. He knows he can't fight the army straight up, so going for the counter, getting huge numbers of probe kills here. He's actually equalized the workers killed. Using his infestors as best he can. Oh, a little misstep there, loses 1. But his problem is he just cannot fight this Protoss army, and now he's even starting to get shut down at the door here. Dave's going to be able to do another warp in pretty soon. Infested Terrans being thrown out. The Zerg knows he needs to break this front door. Dave should do a recall at this point. Why isn't he recalling? There he goes, the recall into the natural. That's exactly what he needed to do. Yeah, he can just eat up the rest of those infested Terrans. The whole Zerg army is getting pushed to the north here, and Dave knows exactly where it is because of those pylons. So, I mean, Dave's down to effectively 1 base, but his army is just so much stronger. If he can catch up to this, yeah, very good. Dave's taking another base behind us. I mean, the Zerg just doesn't have any mining bases. He's got, his main is almost completely mined out. His natural is, again, almost completely mined out. He's building 2 macro hatches, but that's not what he needs right now. He needs more bases. And he just doesn't have it. He's still got, he's down to only 24 drones. And the Zerg is in a bad spot here. He did his 1-1 finally finished. He's getting beautiful fungals off, which is not something to be taken lightly. Fungal is a terrible spell now, ever since they changed it to a projectile. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's got 10 range, which is nice, and it does really great DPS, but it's much harder to use now than it was with the instant cast. So the Zerg's just trying to stall, move around, keep the Protoss busy, get him out of position, go for the counter. Yeah, in fact, I'd like to see him go for the counter again here. That's really his only shot. Yeah, if he runs into this army, he'll lose it all, so he's going to go for the counter here. Lots of infestors throwing out infested Terrans to try and soak up damage, but most of those get cleaned up before they even hatch. Dave is barely going to get those probes out of there, so does Dave have any gates? Yeah, he needs to start warping in back at home to hold this. He's probably going to break this. Oh, he can actually just recall again. Dude, recall is OP. Yeah, we'll see if Dave maybe focuses down this hive and then just recalls. He needs to start balling up here. Yep, there's the focus down on the hive, there's the recall, and he accidentally missed a couple of units there, but that's fine. Last infestor gets picked up in that recall. And these few units here, I mean, another Spire did pop, but again, there's no lair. He's rebuilding his Roach Warren. The Zerg is down to 60 supply. Very aggressive back and forth game here. And it looks like the Protoss is continuing to be ahead here. Uh-oh, one Colossus out in the open. Those are the way that the Zerg can kind of climb back in. Muta is being morphed. Interesting. That's really the only tech he has at this point. He doesn't have a lair and the Spire. Oh, Dave should really focus down that Spire. Oh, it's going to bleed to death anyway. There it goes. So those are the only mutas we'll see on the map. 9 made, 16 more on the way. What's the Stalker count at? Stalker count's at 14. Those mutas are going to be 0-0. Stalkers are 2-1. And they're going to be cloaked. I mean, does he have Overseers? There's a single Overseer on the map, and he may have forgotten about it. But until he gets a layer complete, yeah, he's starting another layer in his main, ironically. I think Dave can still take this army head on, and I think he needs to. I mean, the supplies are starting to equalize. Let's see, what's the worker count here? 50 to 11. There's only 11 drones here. The main, even one of the gas at the main is mined out. Mutas are in the main now, starting to unpower everything. Uh-oh, Dave finds the rest of the Roach Hydra army. So I'd like to see an offensive blink here to take down as much of this as he can, but Dave really needs to save all of his buildings. He's warping in Stalkers somewhere. Not sure where. Dave, you need to come back and save all your stuff. Is Dave just going for the full-on base trade now? Oh! Okay, so I didn't even notice this before. This is kind of the ace in the hole at this point. Does he have Storm here? Is he researching Storm? Where is he researching Storm? Yeah, okay, that's beautiful. Dave is very entrenched in this base. All these cannons, and as soon as this Storm finishes, he's going to have those High Templars to deal with the mutas. So Dave is actually willing to sacrifice his main at this point. He knows he can clean up the Zerg main a lot faster than the Zerg can clean up his main. And once he's done, if he brings his army back to this base, he's still mining, the Zerg's not. His army wins a direct fight, and the longer the game goes on, the further he gets ahead. So, yeah, Dave just needs to crack this main base, and then, does he still have that mothership? Yeah, crack this main base and recall back here, and that's GG. Yeah, this is really bad for the Zerg player. He's going to lose this lair. He's not building anything. He's out of resources. He's down to 5 drones, which are somewhere. I don't know if he brought his drones with him. Roach Warren goes down. There's 3 of the drones. So, yeah, we should see a recall pretty soon here. Last drone is dead. Dave needs to recall now. Dave, recall. Please recall. Why are you not recalling? Very good recall, thank you. And did those Templar die? Uh-oh, the Templar died. Oh, there's 3 of them left. I don't know if he knows it. That one Overseer goes down, though. Oh, and there's the GG. I didn't even see it. So Dave holds on that final base, 107 to 5 supply. Wow, what a game. Very back and forth, very aggressive from both sides, but IBM barely manages to take the series 3-2.